What's up, everybody? It's Natalie from Angelus. I wanted to jump on here quick and talk about a recent topic from a blog post that I think is super important, and that is emotionally unavailable or emotionally immature parents. Now, if you grew up with one of them, some of the signs might be super obvious. If you were suffered abuse or neglect, or maybe if your parents had an addiction of some kind, they would have been less emotionally available to you. But some of the signs are a little bit more subtle, and sometimes people end up having effects into their adulthood and into their adult relationships that they might not necessarily tie back to having emotionally unavailable parents. So, what I mean by that is sometimes they can be a little bit more subtle in the sense that, maybe you had everything materially provided for you when you were a kid, but your parents weren't necessarily taking a vested interest in your emotional life, or they did sporadically, maybe when it was convenient for them, maybe when they could brag about you overachieving. But oftentimes, emotionally immature and emotionally unavailable parents had stunted development themselves, so they aren't necessarily capable of connecting with their kids in that way. And it might not always be, like a cruel, malicious thing or anything like that, but that oftentimes leaves the kid and then subsequent adult feeling as though, people don't take an interest in them. And so that can really wreak some havoc on later adult relationships. So this might, like, if you had an emotionally unavailable parent, you might have felt as a kid that you needed to actually attend to their emotions. So this might look like manifesting as an adult, you taking the emotional temperature of other people and feeling like it's your responsibility to fix things rather than just, be yourself, hold emotional space for yourself. It may feel like you can't even express your own emotions, and you might not even know what they are. Because developmentally as a kid, if your parents were not helping you label your emotions, regulate your emotions, figure out how to cope with them, you might have stuffed them because you might have learned from them that they were too scary. So there's a lot of really far-reaching impacts of having emotionally unavailable parents. And they can be worked with. It is not by any means unable to be worked with. But it takes some effort and some work so that you can find the emotional peace that you might be desiring and being able to express yourself in ways that are meaningful to you. Because sometimes, that part of you is stifled. It takes some time to really get that back. And some focused work, that internal work, can really be healing, even if it takes some time, and a therapist can help you through that. So if you feel like you might have had emotionally unavailable parents, this might be some really beneficial work for you, and it takes some time, but I think just recognizing the potential benefits of it is really important. And sometimes people might not necessarily make the connection. So one thing I would advise you to do is, think about for yourself, if you feel successful in a lot of areas of your life, but you feel not emotionally fulfilled, or you really don't feel like you're connecting with people, even though maybe by all outward appearances your life is going really well. If you still feel that emotional void or emotional pain, this might be something that you might want to look into. And it's something that I specialize in, and I'm sure that any therapist at Angelus would be happy to work with you on. So thank you. I hope you're all staying safe and as sane as possible during the world circumstances. And yeah, have a good day.